Hello you lovely Mario Maker person, my name is Ceave and welcome back. Today we are going to take a look at something really cool and useful. Today we are going to talk about counters in Super Mario Maker. Counters are contraptions which track how often a specific event in Super Mario Maker occurred, like how often Mario went through a door or how often a specific block was triggered. While this may sound incredibly boring at first glance, counters are incredibly useful and it's possible to build some amazing things in Super Mario Maker because of them, including one of my favorite contraptions of all time. So are you ready? Let's do this! Okay, so first let's take a look at the two counter designs we're going to use in this video, and then let's go crazy using them. The first counter is the bob-omb counter. As soon as the room loads, this muncher drops on top of this bob-omb, which forces the bob-omb to explode and destroys one of the blocks. If the room is loaded again, the muncher and the bob-omb respawn, but the block doesn't. Because of this we can count how often this area was loaded and do something specific at a specific point. Here for example we kill Mario once he enters this area for the third time. Here we do basically the same but horizontally and using a shell mat. Once the room is loaded, this spring contraption triggers this shell mat, which then destroys one of the blocks. The shell mat and springs reload, but the brick block doesn't. Because of this, the power block gets triggered the third time Mario enters this area, which kills him here again. Okay, so let's have some fun with these counters. Here our plumber finds himself in a hub room with 4 different exit pipes. Each one of these pipes leads to a small minigame. The whole hub room is set up in such a way that a power block is triggered once Mario survived 2 different minigames. So our plumber has to choose and to survive 2 out of the 4 mini challenges, which are hidden on the other sides of these pipes. The first challenge is a small minigame where Mario has to hit his head against 3 question blocks without jumping into the deadly saw blades. Once all 3 question blocks feel triggered, a path for the Koopa at the top is created and a power block gets triggered. We are able to convert the position of the Koopa into a triggered power block because of this small Koopa bullet bill shell mat contraption. Once Mario leaves the first mini challenge, he finds himself in the hub room again. Now he needs to survive 1 more of the 4 minigames in order for the counter to reach the end. This time he took the minigame to his right. In this challenge our plumber has to avoid ouching cannonballs, which cannons shoot towards him. At the top is a shell mat timer, which expires after about 12 seconds of cannonball dodging. Once this power block was triggered, the exit opens up and Mario enters the hub area once again. But this time the counter reached 0 and the exit path is open. Hooray! For our next design we use counters to build a custom life system on top of the Mario Maker life system. Here Mario has to survive a very tricky platforming challenge. If he fails the challenge however, he isn't killed but has to retry it again. The cool thing about this concept is that Mario is only allowed to reload this room 3 times, as there is a counter hidden at the top which destroys the blocks below the exit door on Mario's 3rd respawn. This means that Mario has 4 lives to beat this challenge. But luckily for Plumber, this life system has an infinite lives cheat. If our plumber manages to hit this question block, the counter at the top gets deactivated, which means that he's allowed to fail the challenge forever. This is possible because of a very simple trick. Triggering this question block activates a hidden block, which then blocks the counter contraption. This deactivates the counter. Such a system can be used for tougher stages, where we don't want to kill our player for every mistake he or she makes, but where we also don't want to give the player infinite tries. But here it doesn't really matter, since Mario is such a skilled platformer that he beats the challenge without much trouble. For our next idea we use a counter to create an uncheatable round clock for a Mario Kart stage. This counter works a little bit different than the ones used before. Instead of counting how often the room was reloaded, we count here how often our as a kart dressed plumber walked through this spot. Whenever our Mario Kart drives through this spot, a shell mat gets activated, which collects a red coin. As soon as Mario made it through the spot for the 3rd time, he's rewarded with a key, which allows him to leave this area. This creates a small Mario Kart stage where Mario has to complete 3 laps in order to escape. There is a shortcut hidden here as well, which can be reached by performing a very precise jump at the beginning, but it's really tough to get this. Once our plumber survived the 3rd lap, he's able to leave this kart stage. In this idea, Mario has to survive a small minigame for 3 times. There is a hub room, once again, and once Mario survives this minigame 3 times, the exit door becomes accessible. The mini challenge Mario has to play is really easy. All that he has to do is to avoid getting shot by a bullet blaster until a timer expires. But what's interesting about this idea is that not only the hub room counts how often Mario entered it, but the challenge room as well. Every time Mario plays the minigame, it becomes a little bit harder. While there are only 2 bullet blasters shooting at him the first time, the second time there are already 4 blasters and a cannon. If Mario managed to survive this, he has to enter the idea one last time, but this time there is also a red bullet blaster, which shoots towards him. This works because of a very simple setup. There is a shellmet counter at the top. Every time it destroys one block, more bullet blasters are able to drop down, which makes the whole challenge increasingly difficult. Next up is a reward minigame system. Mario is trapped in this airship. The exit is blocked by brick blocks and there is nothing he can do about it. All that he can do is to run in circles through these dangerous small corridors while cannons shoot towards him. Whenever he completed a round through this dangerous maze, he triggers a brick block, which is wired to a counter, which counts how often Mario completed this mini challenge. The whole challenge is optional. After a while, a P-switch timer expires and Mario is allowed to leave. Once Mario enters the next room, he's rewarded for how often he completed the minigame before. If he survived 1 round, he's rewarded with a 1-up. For 2 rounds, he's rewarded with a delicious mystery mushroom, and for 3 rounds, he's rewarded with a delicate fire flower. The whole system uses a couple of really neat spawn rule tricks. Every time our plumber activates the brick block, a bob-omb explodes. This explosion destroys a block, which prevents a shellmet and a spring from spawning. The next time this room is loaded, the block is gone and the shellmet and spring are able to spawn, which triggers a question block. A system like this can be used for tons of interesting Mario Maker shenanigans. Okay, and now let's take a look on one of my favorite contraptions of all time. The door. This little and innocent looking contraption is actually really cool, because this little door can only be passed twice and then it becomes locked. Let's give it a try. Mario walks through it the first time. Mario walks through it the second time. And it's locked. Before you take a look at this door in action, let's quickly take a look at how this beauty works. It's a little bit complicated, but basically we chain several spawn preventing blocks together to create this effect. There is a small bob-omb and a big bob-omb, but the big bob-omb isn't loaded because of this block. If Mario walks through this door, the small bob-omb explodes and destroys the spawn blocking block. This allows the big bob-omb to spawn. If Mario walks now through the door, the big bob-omb explodes, but the big explosion has a bigger radius than the small one and destroys this block. This block prevented a bullet blaster from spawning, and this bullet blaster locks the door the third time the room is loaded. That's cool, isn't it? But it gets even cooler, because it's actually pretty easy to build upon this idea. This door, for example, can be passed 3 times before it gets locked, and it's definitely possible to create a door that closes after, I don't know, 7 walkthroughs. I love this door. If anyone of you wonderful people decides to create a stage using this concept, leave me a level ID in a comment. I'll showcase my favorite door levels in a video. Okay, so here we use this concept to create a small puzzle room. Mario is only allowed to walk through this door twice. There is a small contraption to his left and there are unreachable P-switches at the top. At the other side of the two-way door is an unreachable spring. The exit of this idea is on the same side on which Mario currently is, so he's only allowed to walk to this area once again. Have you already figured out what to do? Okay, so here is the solution. There are hidden donut blocks to the right, which are only visible if Mario stands here. If he takes the small path with the donut blocks, he enters a small corridor at the top. This area is high enough for this pipe to become active, which spawns Koopas, which trigger the P-switches. This gives Mario access to the spring. This spring can now be used on the other side to trigger a power block, which opens up the exit. Hooray! And that's it for today and for counters. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you enjoyed it, leave me a thumbs up, and maybe you feel like your days of not being subscribed to this channel are counted and want to hit the subscribe button as well. I hope you have a wonderful day and to see you soon. Goodbye!